Live from clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m. We have hit the road, set up our news desk inside the Walt Disney World Boys and Girls Club. It's right here on Hernandez Drive in Pine Hills. We've been having a good time with the kids all day. This is a community rooted in history, full of people trying to make it better for future generations. Thank you for joining us on News 6 Plus and clickorlando.com as we hit the road on this Tuesday. I'm Matt Austin.
And boy, have we hit it. I'm Ginger Gadsden. For those of you unfamiliar with our Hits the Road segments, where have you been? Every month we choose a new location in Central Florida. We ask the people who live there what they want to see us cover. And then we hit the road to tell those stories. Now, we've been to East Orange County, Montverde, Sanford, Kissimmee, and Melbourne. And after a brief hiatus due to Hurricane Milton, we are now in beautiful Pine Hills, where there is a lot of pride in this community. And this community has a deep, rich history. Its development, once considered a huge success, drawing workers to one of the first Orlando suburbs.
But it's also a complex past, and much like the rest of America, demographics and race have played a huge role.
This is a part of the farmer's job in taking care of the plants, because it's all a relationship.
J.C. Walker's home is easy to find.
So I've got to make sure that I keep these weeds from stealing the nutrition from my plants.
At his place in Pine Hills,
These are producing some nice peppers now.
he's growing a mini farm.
We came here in 1990.
Walker moved here 34 years ago
I'm very, very, very proud of this place.
and raised all three of his kids in this
Started our life
yard.
here. Now, this was supposed to have been a starter house, right?
34 years later.
But his relationship with this community is
Again,
complicated.
there was a racial divide. So there were certain areas that you just weren't very welcomed in. And if you did cross the line and go into these areas, then you had to kind of deal with the consequences.
Before Pine Hills became a minority majority like it is today, it was the exact opposite. In the 1950s, a British immigrant named Gordon Barnett developed this land. He built a country club, golf course, and homes you could buy for $6,700.
The history of this place is very important to you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because this is where this is my life was here.
Right. Yeah.
Stuart Dunaway's parents bought one of those homes. Here's a picture from move-in day. He recently wrote a book about the history of Pine Hills. And Dunaway's the kind of guy who keeps a map of Florida from the 1800s in his car.
This is Lake Lawn and Pine Hills, Robbins Wood.
He says throughout the 1960s, the suburb of Orlando quickly filled with workers at Martin Marietta Electronics and Missile Group.
Seems like a nice upbringing. What was it like growing up here?
Yes, it was a simple life, I think. We're the baby boomers.
For decades, the community grew, mostly to the north and east. It was no longer just Robbinswood and Pine Hills Manor. New neighborhoods were added, like Evans Village and Sylvan Highlands. Businesses arrived, like fast food and drive-in theaters.
Man, you can actually in 1963 come here and get your...
You still get excited about this stuff.
because it's ridiculous.
The 70s brought change. Desegregation of public schools was beginning. J.C. Walker lived in Washington Shores. He was bused to Evans High School.
One of the old sayings we would always say was, whatever you do not miss the bus.
Inevitably, one day Walker did miss the bus.
Man, I started walking home, and all of a sudden, when I got on Pine Hills and I crossed and I passed the first house, there was the N-word that they threw at me, and after the N-word, they like ring the N-word, singing it in a sense, and lo and behold, people like a mob had gathered and were coming after me.
You're just walking down the street.
I'm just
and all of a
walking
sudden
down
a
the street.
mob-
I walked a little faster, and they kept on coming. I started running. I ran from Silver Star all the way to Colonial Drive. And the whole while I was running, people were coming out of their houses. Each house I passed, they were coming out of their houses running to try to catch me.
Walker was so terrified by the incident, he transferred to Jones. Dunaway's book ends around this time. His family, like many other white middle-class neighbors, started leaving.
The 80s and 90s are often characterized by what's known as white flight. Values of these once prized neighborhoods started to go down. The country club shut down and is now this apartment complex. Discount stores came in, and so did J.C. Walker.
And as more and more African Americans started moving in, more and more whites started moving out.
Now, as Walker tends a garden in a neighborhood that once chased him out, he says gardens and communities are pretty similar. They're both projects you never really finish.
It's just an experiment. We're still trying to figure it out. You know, we still got to try to come to the place where we acknowledge the fact that life is not as it was. And if we want to be a part of the future, then we need to sit down and decide on how can we live on this planet together.
Yeah.
How do we do it?
Amen.
You know? And I think we can.
So I struggled to try to do this story justice.
Oh, I remember.
You know, I've talked to you about it quite a bit. So you have some people who grew up there in Pine Hills and had a fantastic childhood, thought it was great, and you had others who weren't allowed to go in there.
Yeah.
So a good book, though, History of Pine Hills, Orange County, Florida, if you ever want to check out the details about the stories that came in, and it's fascinating.
And I know it can be kind of nerve-wracking to do a story on a community you're not very familiar with, and I know the pains you went through to make sure you did an accurate portrayal of everything that happened. You did a great job.
Oh, thank you.
It's a really good story, and I'm glad you were able to tell
well,
it.
I found two guys
you
who
had
were,
good characters to tell it
they
through,
made
for
it a
sure.
lot easier for me. Well, it was a dream more than 7 years in the making. The Orange County Multicultural Center was built to be a centerpiece right in the heart of Pine Hill.
Yeah, it's been open for a little more than a year now, and it has become so much more than just a place for conferences or activities. It has really become a heartbeat that brings the community together. The new Orange County Multicultural Center in Pine Hills has indeed added a vibrant vibe and wow factor to the community. The wow factor continues once you walk through the doors of this 17,000 square foot building. You are immediately welcomed by this visually stunning mosaic that spans nearly an entire wall.
This center is everybody's baby.
Tamara Johnson is the executive director of the Pine Hills Neighborhood Improvement District. She says the mural is more than decoration. It's a declaration of what this community is and what it is becoming.
I look at this, as crazy and as cliche as it may sound. It says the inception of Pine Hills, but more importantly for me when I look at it, you look at all of the pieces that came together to make it happen, right? So Pine Hills moniker is many cultures, one bright future, right? And when we think of community, you have that big word unity that sits in there that speaks to the direction we're going.
That direction is forward. The first of its kind center will serve as a hub for the arts, culture, and even has a space for those who are YouTube and podcast savvy. It will also provide job training, senior and youth programming, utility assistance, and a wealth of educational experiences, including an innovation lab.
So they're going to have 3D simulation opportunities. So for example, the example I was given was my glasses. I can design my glasses and create them on a computer. They will have a 3D simulation lab, so I'll walk out with my glasses. Right?
That's
What can you
created
do?
here.
Right.
Open for just over a year, it has already had a big impact on building more community pride.
Why is it so important that this multicultural family center is here in this community?
Because it's needed. And they deserve it, right? So many other communities have so many other things that they can take pride in, right? And we're not saying that there aren't other places within Pine Hills to take pride in. However, it's different when you see something brand new. It's like the shiny new toy, right?
Yeah.
That never gets dull. Everybody wants it. And so to have this here and see it, you're like, wait a minute, am I still in Pine Hills, right? Like, is it this place, right? So it gives a different feeling and it brings excitement when you walk in the door because it's different.
When they say this center is the heart of the community, meant to serve the people in the community, that's not just a talking point, they mean it. For example, instead of the usual activities that would be happening now, this is now a designated FEMA site meant to help the people who are impacted by Hurricane Milton. They can come here and find out how they can get some help.
Historically, you know, you have people who've been here forever and they've seen Pine Hills, what it started out, and then they've seen, you know, those difficult times.
Yeah.
And now they're here to see the butterfly blossoming.
And at the center is a blossoming butterfly. The person who knew it would one day fly is former District 6 Commissioner Victoria Sibley.
I can't believe it, right? You work so hard and you have a vision, and the residents, you know, they're telling you their needs and they would like to see. And as a policymaker, sometimes you don't know if you can really make that become a reality.
This is not our building, it's your building.
Yeah, so much so that you can have a birthday party there, a wedding reception. It's all free. You just have
So
to,
you
you
can
know.
just live there.
You have
go.
You can't live there.
I
You
mean,
could-
I live in Pine Hills.
but you could book it, right?
I'd
But
live
they're
there.
already booking into 2025. So
Yeah.
that's how popular it is. They've had so many events there already, and it's
Beautiful
not slowing
space.
down at all. No.
All right, good stuff. All right, let's get you back into the studio. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas is taking a look at your weather. That can be a bit of a complex issue these days. Some good news and some maybe not so good news.
Yeah, if you like the cool, crisp air, that's coming back by the time we get to Friday. What's also on the radar, though, or the satellite in this case, is going to be our disturbance in the Caribbean we've been talking about for several days, really dating back to last week. This is now officially designated as Invest 99L. It's that fancy number. It's just whenever the Hurricane Center starts to run their specialized computer forecasts on the disturbance itself. So we're going to have those tonight. We're going to have those for you tonight at 11 o'clock as well. Those will be the first models run on this thing. But you see the color changed to red. It means now we have a very high chance for tropical development. Also with that Invest tag, that's when we also start the Hurricane Hunter mission. So we have a couple of Air Force planes getting up into that disturbance starting tomorrow at 10 o'clock. They'll be taking off tomorrow morning. Then we have another one getting in there Thursday morning. And then these will continue and likely ramp up as well as we go over the weekend. Likely going to have at least a tropical depression by the end of this work week, if not even sooner. And then likely something strengthening over the weekend. We'll talk about some scenarios that does unfortunately include Florida in the future of this, guys, coming up in about 10 minutes.
Well, it's really important to me because growing up, my mom is a 9/11 survivor. So during this time, her COPD has gotten increasingly worse during that time. And we weren't allowed to do certain like extracurricular activities. So being able to be exposed to that, coming to the Boys and Girls Club, was just something that I will forever keep and hold in my heart. And this is allowing me to be able to mentor other students and learn about certain things that I didn't get to know and just project it on other kids.
Wow, you know, she was just a phenomenal young woman. At 5 o'clock, we got to hear from one of the kids benefiting from the Boys and Girls Club in Pine Hills. We met one of their shining stars, Annabelle, who is making a huge impact that reaches beyond the walls of the Boys and Girls Club. And wow, if you heard her, it told you everything you needed to know about this place.
Yeah, you can tell she's amazing. And if you see her art, you'll know even more about it.
Of course. Okay, so now we are hearing about the impact it's having on families. We spoke to Vivian Cheney, who sends her two grandsons to the Boys and Girls Club. How could you tell that they were enjoying it and that it changed them?
Well, my grandson, he comes home and talk about all the activities that they do with them. Now he's doing football, flag football, and he was very excited about that. They work with them with their homework. He's come home, he's had better grades in school because they tutor him here as well. And then the older one, he likes it as well. They never want to leave. That's how I know it's good, because they say, can we stay a little bit longer? When they're supposed to leave at 5, they end up leaving at 7 or 8 o'clock.
That's how you know they're staying, and they're working on things like homework. They get tutored here, and they really love it. And this Vivian was telling me, she says, we have to make sure we don't miss the sign-up deadline because it's so popular that if you don't get that deadline, your kid's not getting in.
You know what I love? They keep track of the kids' grades around here. You have to sign up when you come to this Boys and Girls Club that they get your progress reports and your report cards. And if you're starting to fall by the wayside, they take care of business around here.
Yeah, they really do.
And there's tons of laughter.
They're not messing around, for sure. Well, coming up, the Expressway Authority says it finally has the answer to making our highways safer, in particular, the crash barriers. So News 6's Eric Von Enken got a first look at how it's getting results of protecting our community right here in Pine Hills.
Plus, reflected in the diversity of Pine Hills is its wide variety of local grocery stores. Coming up, we got an inside tour of some of the international shops. You'll want to check them out.
You're watching News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results in Pine Hills and all of Central Florida. We will be right back. Shoot it!
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Only on 6 tonight, it's the answer to a problem our toll road operators have been trying to solve forever. How do they know when their crash barricades are damaged or how badly they're damaged? It's critical those barricades are in good shape to protect you if you happen to crash into them.
Yeah, so tonight, News 6 anchor Eric Von Anken gets a first-hand look at the answer and how it's protecting our community, and he's just down the road at the 408 toll booth in Pine Hills.
At pretty much every toll booth and every off-ramp, you see some version of this. So this thing is called an attenuator, and the metal is designed to crumple if you hit it. In between the metal, you see those black boxes? Those are energy absorption devices, all designed to stop you or at least slow you down when you come upon that immovable concrete block. The problem is the Expressway Authority discovered that sometimes drivers are hitting these in the middle of the night, sometimes in the middle of nowhere, sometimes it's only the driver that knows about the crash. So how is the Expressway Authority supposed to know that this has been damaged? Other than a time-consuming visual inspection, how is the Expressway Authority supposed to know that this barrier will work the next time somebody hits it? If you can't see that it's damaged or you're not hearing that it was damaged, you don't know to fix it?
Correct. This is our new impact detection device that is being installed throughout areas along our expressway system. Brian Hutchings, I'm the manager of community engagement with the Central Florida Expressway Authority. So it has sensors in here that will detect the impact and the vibration and will send out real time to us via text, email, and through a website portal, both the location, time, and then also the severity.
The inventor of this thing tells the Expressway Authority he came up with the idea after a crash in California. He says a driver hit a barricade there, damaged it. This didn't exist. 11 days went by. The California DOT did not fix that barricade, and in that time, another driver came along, smashed into it, and died.
What this helps us do is we'll know in real time when a barrier's been impacted, and then we can dispatch our maintenance crews to make those repairs quickly as opposed to waiting for a visual inspection, which could take, a day, maybe longer.
So the next time the next person hits it,
it'll be repaired and it could potentially save lives.
Here at the Pine Hills Toll Plaza, you can see already the impact detectors have been installed. There's 3 just on this side. Right now, they're putting in 135 system-wide across the Expressway Authority, and that includes on the cable guardrail along the edge of the beach line. And if the Expressway Authority determines that these are truly getting results, they'll buy more and install more. For now, protecting our community in Pine Hills, Eric Von Anken, Getting Results, News 6.
And the other use for these sensors, the Expressway Authority expects to learn of areas on its highways that are frequent crash points they never even knew about.
And that will give them the opportunity to look at making that section safer, maybe redesigning it or fixing whatever makes it a frequent crash point. So pretty important.
Yeah.
You know, infrastructure stuff, but vital to keeping people safe.
Absolutely. Well, Pine Hills is rich in culture and diversity.
And as News 6 anchor and insider guide Crystal Moyer shows us, the community features its diversity through a number of international grocery stores.
When it comes to our Hits the Road segments, usually I'll do a guide to the city, right? Well, when it comes to Pine Hills, people come here for the grocery shopping.
This is for the stuffing when we get ready to do our Thanksgiving dinner. You have the chicken gizzards and the livers. And I love the fruit, so these are the legumes I buy. They're sweet.
Curtis and Rethel Hunter are buying some groceries at Ensan Market, an Asian grocery store off Pine Hills Road and Colonial Drive. It's located in the Chinatown Plaza. What attracts them to this market?
They have pretty good prices.
And a large assortment of teas.
You can tell I'm Oriental, I'm from China, so I got to find my food.
For Aimao, it's all about getting a taste of home.
We have a lot of Chinese. It is nice to have a store like this, yeah, because otherwise you eat hamburger, steak. It's good for American, right? For us, we got to have our noodles, our tofu. Right. Okay, something that make your stomach feel good.
Along with exotic vegetables, the grocery store has a large variety of meats, fish, and noodles. Across the street, customers are checking out groceries from a different type of cuisine.
I'm from Jamaica, so most of the things, the snacks and stuff, are in here that I love.
The Caribbean Supercenter, also located off Pine Hills Road and Colonial Drive, has aisles and aisles of Caribbean-based products like jerk seasoning, Red Label, and unique snacks like bonbon buns.
Yeah. And then my son is 1. He goes to like the same snack. My daughter is 10. She goes to like the same stuff too. But if it wasn't here, they wouldn't have any part of my culture.
It's like if you're being home again in one of those grocery stores because you can find basically the same products that you're accustomed to.
And further down Pine Hills Road, you'll find Presidente Supermarket with Latin-based products and unique juices. Neighbors saying these international grocery stores are representative of not just Pine Hills, but all of Central Florida.
It's nice because it shows the diversity in the community. And we have different food to choose from, in addition to Publix and Winn-Dixie and the other stores.
You can tell us about your Pine Hills experiences and learn more about the unique variety of grocery stores at clickorlando.com/insider. In Pine Hills, Crystal Moyer, Getting Results, News 6.
Never in my life did I think you could take a tour of a community through its grocery stores, but we just did.
It's much diversity in the grocery
really
stores.
Yeah.
And now I'm starving. So
of
great.
course, it's
All right,
dinner time.
Let's get you back into the studio. Jonathan Kegas is taking care of all of your weather needs. I know you're wondering about the tropics, and you're wondering when it's going to be normal outside again, Jonathan.
A couple days for the normalcy part, and then it gets not normal again when we're talking about potentially a stronger system in the Caribbean. We'll get into that part in a couple of minutes. Right now, it's nice and quiet, a little warm as we take a live look outside in Daytona Beach with our Daytona Toyota Deland Kia Skycam. 75 degrees right now at the beach under clear skies. Still a little breezy out there, gusting to near 20 miles an hour out of the north and east. We are at 79 in Leesburg. Good evening in the Villages. We're at 78, 76 in Mount Dora. We're at 76 also in Mico. Clouds and rain forecast for the rest of this evening. You see that onshore flow again, that breeze, gusty at times off of the Atlantic. That'll keep a few extra clouds around from time to time. Also the opportunity for just a quick hitting passing shower in the mix. Most of us, though, we're dry for the next couple of days. There's 6 o'clock in the evening tomorrow on your Wednesday night. Again, a few passing clouds for us through the afternoon and into the evening again. Now here's a look at tonight.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
We're hanging around 70 degrees tonight, another mild evening. Partly cloudy skies are going to be with us, again, with those passing clouds, with that breeze off of the Atlantic. In terms of tomorrow with a mix of clouds and sunshine, very similar data to what we saw today. We're at 86 in Kissimmee, Titusville into Mims. We're at 84, 82 in New Smyrna Beach. Also that mark in Oak Hill. We're at 81 in Daytona Beach tomorrow afternoon. All eyes going to be on the Caribbean for the next 7 to 10 days, give or take, as we are watching this blossoming area of thunderstorms, now officially designated as Invest 99L. Again, that's when the Hurricane Center starts to run their specialized computer models. We'll have those for you tonight on News 6 at 11 o'clock. It's the first time they'll be run on this system. Development zone going to be in the western Caribbean, and then once it gets into the Caribbean, that's where it starts to get a little uncertain. Big chunk of high pressure going to build over Florida, though, so there's really not many ways that's going to escape to the north and east. Although, if this does get strong fast, you see these two paths here, that's where it could go up and out, maybe south of Miami towards the Bahamas. But there's also a more likely scenario of this coming close to southwest Florida. If it does stay weak for a longer period of time, it's going to have the opportunity to come west and interact with land towards Central America, Honduras, Nicaragua, and then towards the Yucatan Peninsula. That will keep it on the weaker side for most of its life. So while we don't want to wish anything to anybody, if it does stay on the weaker side and interacts with land, it will be weaker on its trip to Florida. You see, again, the dashed lines towards the Panhandle, Big Bend, further north, that would likely go if it stays weaker as well. We're at 82 on Thursday. There's our front, mid-70s on Saturday. We'll drop to the 50s overnight through about Monday morning. 81 on Tuesday, guys.
All right, Jonathan Kagas, thank you very much. Well, Thanksgiving is creeping up on our calendars with only 2 weeks to go.
Hard to believe, right? So coming up, we'll tell you about the successful turkey fundraiser put on by one of our photojournalists and how he is hoping to help even more families this Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, a little more than 2 weeks away, and this year, News 6 photojournalist and the host of Black Men Sundays podcast, Corey Murray, is once again making sure families of the Boys and Girls Club, like this place, have food on the table.
So last year, Corey set a goal to help 50 families for his turkey giveaway. I don't know if you know this, but Corey is a bit of an overachiever.
Yes.
Thanks to help from our News 6 viewers, the Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida and Light Orlando, Corey helped not 50 families, but 230 families last year, and he is hoping to do the very same thing this year. And you can help him do it, too, if you'd like to help get results for families of the Boys and Girls Club.
That is off-putting.
That's a lot of turkey happening. Open the camera on your smartphone and scan the QR code you see right there on your screen. We apologize about that scary turkey sound. There you'll be able to make a donation. Corey is accepting those donations through November 20th, so he will still have plenty of time to go out and get those turkeys. I assume, who's in the booth? Is it Joe, do you think?
They've been doing that all day with that graphic.
The first time I heard
I'm not sure
that.
why, but it gets your attention.
It does. It got my attention, that is for sure. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today. We really have enjoyed our time in Pine Hills, and we hope you enjoyed it with us. You can stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
We'll see you tonight at 11 o'clock.
Bye.